HITC Sport. Alright, so we're halfway through the January transfer window. I mean, are you satisfied with how things are going? I know this sounds like a weird parent-teacher meeting. I mean, my mother kept being told by my teachers on an annual basis that I had a brain shaped like a plank of wood. Well, I sure proved them wrong. But listen, I'm guessing if you're a Burnley fan, then without a doubt, when you see a picture like this, it's probably the equivalent of seeing somebody decapitate your cat. I'm guessing you'd love to reach through the screen and snap Woody's fingers like a twig. Right now, Burnley fans would probably love to show Wood the same care and affection shown by a lumberjack. But anyway, right now, I'm gonna predict who every Premier League club's next transfer is going to be. Alright, let's go. Arsenal Arthur. Christ above Arsenal. They sure love to sign an injury-prone playmaker on loan halfway through their season, don't they? It's their own secret fetish. I mean, let's be honest, both Kim Kallstrom and Denis Suarez both had limbs made of plastic, and so judging by their track record, last year I expected Martin Odegaard to pull his hamstring with even just buttering a slice of toast. But listen, when the Arsenal board rang up Juventus this week, I'm guessing Aaron Ramsey was hiding outside Andrea Agnelli's office with a giddy fat smile on his face. Oh, bit heartbreaking and a bit awkward to find out that actually no, it's not a call about you. Nah, your former club are actually interested in your bench-warming buddy Arthur. And no, not the sexually frustrated cartoon bear. No, the former Barcelona Brazilian playmaker. Poor old Ramsey. It's a bit like when you regret walking out on your wife, and then within 3 years, you see her out to brunch with your cousin. Seeing those two share a plate of pancakes, it's gonna make you feel like jamming a pencil into your scrotum. Listen, right now, Arteta is doing a good job of jamming the deadwood into a big fat skip. And apparently, Arthur is the name he wants through the door. I mean, the player's open to joining. He's on wages of £125,000 a week. To put it in context, every week Aubameyang makes that by Wednesday afternoon. After what? Just 3 training sessions where he turns up late and probably chucks in the effort of Barney Gumble. And don't forget, only 30 footballers in world history have actually cost more than £72 million Arthur. Yes, he's an injury-prone tortoise who'll probably soon need a live-in nurse to help him on and off the toilet. But still, this would be a statement of intent. Aston Villa, Yves Bissouma. So, Yves Bissouma is the talk of the January transfer window, right? But listen, do not believe the hype. Sure, the Malian stands out in Brighton's midfield, sure, but do you not remember when Abdoulaye Doucouré, fresh from playing in a spinach pie Watford team, he was suddenly be linked with a £50 million move to PSG and Man United. Well, now he's playing in the same team as Andros Townsend. Turns out, actually, he really is just a mid-table standard midfielder, about as exciting as a cauliflower sandwich. Bissouma has the same fate. He is a good, decent player. But will anyone really remember him in 10 years? But yeah, Aston Villa are clearly waving their wallet around like a drunken uncle at the underage strip club. So yeah, I can see Stevie G falling for the hype with a £40 million move this week, before swiftly realizing that actually he's just a modern day Mo Diame. Christ above the disappointment of that. It's like unwrapping the latest iPhone before realizing it's actually just a brick with an Apple logo scribbled on the front. I mean, Steven Gerrard is a great footballer, yes, but it doesn't mean he has world-class judgment. Christ above, as a player, he was desperate for Liverpool to sign Gareth Barry, Joe Cole and Clint Dempsey. Brentford, Mihailo Mudryk. Yeah, I know so far this month, Brentford have been quieter than the Home Alone kid at Michael Jackson's trial. But, this will be a statement. Ukraine's 21-year-old midfielder Mihailo Mudryk, who currently plays for Shakhtar Donetsk and already has interest from Sevilla, he's admitted that yes, he's been in contact with Brentford. But yeah, get excited Brentford, because you are signing Mudryk. Brighton, Harry Wilson. Okay, I don't think Brighton will sign anyone else this month. Graham Potter seems pretty happy with the squad, so I reckon in the summer you'll replace £90,000 a week Adam Lallana with Harry Wilson in a £20 million swap deal to Fulham. I mean, I know the Collegers have won 7-0 away from home twice already this season, but I just fancy a post-Easter bottle job for Marco Silva to wind up losing in the Championship playoffs. So yeah, Wilson to Brighton in the summer. Burnley, Kiefer Moore. I want to see the reaction of Sean Dyche right now. He's probably sitting in his Northampton house, trying to resist the urge to punch his nan in the face. Honestly, he is probably so angry, he's close to winding up in a fugue state. Just a 20-hour coma of rage. Christ above, look at his face now, and he probably looks like Popeye after he's been told he can't have kids. I mean, he has just seen Chris Wood, his only source of goals, thanklessly walk out the door to a relegation rival in Newcastle. And for guess what? A limp £25 million. This is a club who recently were demanding 50 million quid for a centre half with just 2 England caps. Someone no better than a peak Ryan Shawcross. So I'm guessing they've looked at this release clause trigger fee the same way they look at their grandmother eating poo off the kitchen floor. Suddenly, the script of Turf Moor is essentially the plot of Toy Story 3. I mean, they have to replace Woody, or their mother is gonna castrate them on a barbecue. Okay, I haven't actually seen the film. But honestly, this is arguably the most important transfer in the history of Burnley Football Club. They have to get it right. And I reckon they're just gonna stupidly buy Cardiff City 6'5" beanpole Kiefer Moore. I mean, he's roughly the same age as Wood, but with just 5 Cardiff goals in the championship this season. Don't do it, Dyche. He's a championship one-season wonder. Yes, I know he fits the Burnley profile. He's big and goblin-esque, looks like he eats pig snouts for tea. But no, don't rest your survival hopes on a former Yeovil Town flop. Yes, I know he was close to being a Chinese international centre forward, but no, that's still not good enough for a reason. I don't think you're suddenly going to sell any Burnley shirts in Hong Kong. Don't do it! Chelsea, Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele is surely one of the biggest wastes of cash in the history of football. What on earth possessed Barcelona to pay a lump sum of £135 million for a 20-year-old winger with just 6 Bundesliga goals to his name? Dembele was supposed to be Neymar's replacement. All he's done is just demonstrate to the world that the Barcelona boardroom has the intelligence of a veggie pizza. I mean, Neymar scored more league goals for PSG by Christmas in his debut season in France than Dembele's managed in half a decade in Spain. I mean, it doesn't help that he's missed 114 games of football for Barcelona through injury. Yes, 114! To put it in context, Cristiano Ronaldo has just missed 67 games through injury, and he's been playing since 2002. Anyway, Dembele's contract is up in the summer, so to be, this man is shocked deadline day transfer written all over his face. I mean, according to reports, this man has the cheek to demand a contract worth £700,000 a week. What? Apparently Xavi was speechless. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't sneeze blood. This club can barely afford clean toilet water. Xavi's probably having to steal out of the church donation box. I mean, the canteen are probably only able to serve bowls of Cheerios for lunch. And you got this fella wanting £36 million per year. Does he actually think he deserves this? It's the equivalent of Ollie Murs, after 5 albums of impersonating a constipated Michael Bublé, to then demand a £100 million record deal. Please, flush your head down a toilet bowl. So I reckon Dembele will tie up a cut price £15 million move to Stamford Bridge, a reunion with Thomas Tuchel on January 31st. I mean, it just smacks of the whole Ricardo Quaresma, Alexander Pato, or Gonzalo Higuain mid-season signing that Chelsea just loves so much. You know, an elite big name in football, but the Chelsea fans will very quickly realise actually have the muscles of a geriatric hamster. Trust me, this is what Chelsea do in January. Stupidly sign an over-the-hill, injury-prone red lobster. Trust me, this is happening. I mean, the last attacking player they signed in January who actually turned out to be any good was Nicolas Anelka. And that was 14 Januaries ago. Honestly, say hello to a Dembele and Pulisic reunion on the wings. Crystal Palace, Eddie Nketiah. Yeah, this is inevitable. Crystal Palace have been salivating over Eddie Nketiah for years now, as if his face was made of cheeseburger. I mean, the man has refused to commit to any more time warming the Arsenal bench. Yeah, I can see a £50 million move this month. Everton, Anwar Al-Ghazi. This is just sad. Rafa Benitez left Newcastle because they weren't willing to spend enough in the transfer market. And now he's having to scour the planet for cut price bargain basement deals for less than the price of a Greg Sam sandwich. Whilst Newcastle are throwing money around like confetti. Look, Anwar Al-Ghazi is swapping Aston Villa for Everton on loan, right? This might even be confirmed before I do the goddamn thumbnail. I mean, he's already had his medical, he's going to be unveiled to the Everton fans, and they are going to react to the signature of a frustrating Dutch pildy merchant who keeps mindlessly shooting from 40 yards out, as if they've just been set up in a blind date with someone who collects Digimon cards and stores scrambled egg in their belly button. They're not going to be best pleased. Honestly, this isn't the next Kevin Morales, it's the Dutch Aidan McGeady, just poor. Or dare I say it, the modern day Andy van der Meijden. Leeds Nahitan Nandes. So hard to second guess what goes on in the crazy little mind of Marcelo Bielsa. But yeah, reports are indicating that he wants to sign a 26-year-old Uruguay midfielder Nahitan Nandes from Cagliari. He's got nearly 50 caps for his country, he's formerly of Boca Juniors, so yeah, I can see a £20 million move this month. Leicester, Todd Cantwell. Finally, some managers out there are waking up and remembering that, oh yeah, Todd Cantwell, he actually can play football, can't he? It seems both Daniel Farke and now Dean Smith look at him as if he's just some useless boys on reject with the hunger of a teapot. But there are outside links with Leicester City, and I think Brendan Rodgers would work miracles with this guy. I know he looks like a confused Barbie doll, but no, look at the last playmaker Leicester signed from Norwich. Honestly, shove this 23-year-old into a midfield with Yuri Tielemans and James Maddison, and trust me, this guy will soon be playing for England. I mean, I'm not sure why, but this season, he just seems to be Norwich's answer to Dele Alli. A talented playmaker, but F1 has now decided it's just a walking puncture condom. But no, I can see a deadline day move to Leicester for 20 million quid. Liverpool, Erling, Tchouameni. Yeah, so last year the exciting young French wonder kid midfielder was Eduardo Camavinga, who suddenly had half of Europe's elite clubs eating out of the palm of his agent. Well, in 2022, that crown looks like it's now gone to Erling Tchouameni. If I was him, a 19-year-old Monaco midfielder, I would demand to leave while the interest is there, because as we all know, League One players can very easily miss the big money transfer boat and then just fade into insignificance. I mean, do you remember the 2018 hype for Nabil Fekir? Or the 2020 interest in Houssem Aouar? Now both players just seem like yesterday's news. About as appealing as a bowl full of expired black and white pudding, right? So Tchouameni needs to leave now. And I think he will. A £40 million move to Liverpool on the last week of January. Man City, Erling Haaland. Okay, Man City aren't signing anyone this month. But considering Erling Haaland apparently has a £64 million release clause in his Borussia Dortmund contract this summer, then I'm sorry, Man City would be stupid not to sign Alfred Haaland's son. I don't think people realise just how much of a bargain this transfer would be. He would cost less than 2 Danny Drinkwaters. You cannot, as a football club in all good conscience, choose to spend £100 million on a midfielder from Villa Park and yet ignore the opportunity to do business for a world-class superstar like this. I mean, it has to happen. I'm gonna call it June 13th. Haaland will be unveiled at the Etihad with Harry Kane sitting at home weeping at the TV. Man United Denis Zakaria. How delightfully hipster. Apparently Manchester United have already chucked in a bid for Borussia Mönchengladbach Swiss midfielder Denis Zakaria. You know Arsenal already sort of did this 5 years ago. He turned out to be a frustrating dishwipe who constantly looks like he hates his own fans. Listen, Zakaria has told the club he wants to leave, and there is a Manchester United contract apparently on the table for a guy who'll be able to leave the club this summer for less than the price of a Kit Kat multi-pack. I mean, this smacks of when Man City brainlessly paid £18 million to Hamburg in January 2009 for a Nigel de Jong who, yeah, would have cost less than a pizza in June. Honestly, the money in football, it's just disgusting. Newcastle, Hugo Etkitic. Right, so Newcastle have the largest transfer kitty in the world, and they're agreeing to now just stuff their team with former Burnley players. Chris Wood doesn't really get the pulse racing now, does he? Again, it's a bit like being given a wet sock for Christmas. But Newcastle are trying to push through a £25 million move for a Reims teenage striker, the 19-year-old Hugo Etkitic, which seems like a bigger gamble than Boris Johnson having a party in his garden. I mean, this smacks of the old Newcastle transfer regime, where they had Alan Carr's dad scouting anything that moved in the west coast of France. I mean, that is how you wind up with a fat donut like Emmanuel Riviere stinking up a relegation battle. This transfer will happen, but honestly, am I the only one who sees an overhyped French teenager who's gonna spend this Christmas crying in the Tyneside snow? I mean, he's gonna go from a little French village to suddenly having fat, frustrated Geordie screaming his face in Wagamamas. Just ask Damien Duff. Honestly, this is not the right move for anyone. Eddie Howe should be signing centre backs, not hunting down French children off the internet. Honestly, Hugo, don't do it. Norwich, Lyndon Dykes. Similarly to Burnley's pursuit of Kiefer Moore, this will just be another underwhelming, panicky buy from the Championship. I can see Dean Smith sanctioning a £20 million move for a 26-year-old Scotland international Lyndon Dykes, despite, you know, being Australian. Anyway, again, like Moore, he's only got 5 championship goals a season for QPR, so Norwich, don't bother. Southampton, Armand Broja. I don't think Southampton will sign anyone in January, but a £30 million permanent move for Chelsea's Albanian striker Armand Broja. I mean, already on loan, he looks like Southampton's most dangerous player, so yeah, why not? Tottenham, Adama Traore. Finally, Adama Traore finally looks like he's getting his big move. I mean, sure, he's got the end product of a teabag. 10 goals and 152 games for Wolves is quite honestly so revolting. You might actually start to see a bit of phlegm drool down my chin. But Antonio Conte wants to turn him into his very own Victor Moses or Ashraf Hakimi, converting him to a right wing back. Oh yes, because signing a right back from Wolves worked so very well the last time Spurs did it. But yeah, I can see a January loan move with an obligation to buy. Watford, Odion Ighalo. Why not? You never know who Watford are going to sign. So why not a deadline day move for old boy Odion Ighalo on loan? I mean, the guy is currently eating cash with a fork out in Saudi Arabia with Al-Shabaab. But after 4 years of being an employee in China, does he not have enough money? So yeah, at the age of 32, I can see a brief 4-month loan back at Watford, where he gets to play with Emmanuel Denis, both men who weren't allowed to join Nigeria's squad at the African Nations Cup. I'm sorry, Watford and Al-Shabaab? You are acting like a mother whose 11-year-old son has just asked to go for a sleepover at his PE teacher's house. No, African Nations Cup! Can't believe you didn't let them go. West Ham, Gabriel Barbosa. This is now or never for Gabriel Barbosa to actually leave a footprint in the European game. Gabigol. Yes, he sounds like something off the set of Pirates of the Caribbean, but he's a 25-year-old goal machine for Flamengo, and he's currently got a loan offer on the table to join West Ham. If he doesn't move now, then I'm convinced he's just gonna go down in history as having the same fate as Leandro Di Mao. You know, a Brazilian goal machine with Internacional, always linked with Tottenham every summer, but it never happened, and now because of that, you probably wouldn't even recognize him walking down the street. Again, I reckon this will be a last week of January loan signing. Come on, Gabigol, come to the Premier League so we can see just how good you actually are. Wolves, Carlos Salcido. Yeah, so Wolves fans are probably hoping to see Renato Sanchez in here, right? Nah, sorry lads, your next signing instead will be 28-year-old Mexican centre half Carlos Salcido from Tigres UANL. Yeah, I'm sure you can barely contain your excitement. Anyway, that's it. What do you think? Alright, who is going to be your next signing? Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.